shameless. Yes, absolutely shameless. 100% guilty as charged. That is probably one of the most shameless things that I have ever done on this channel in the past 50. Well, early YouTube is kind of a contender for that, but yes, that is absolutely incredibly 100% shameless. Just like this segue to our sponsor. And yes, that is our one and only Be Right Back song if we go to a Be Right Back screen for any reason. So absolutely get used to hearing the Linus theme all throughout at least this stream. What is up, everybody? This is Jay, aka Multimedia Jay. Please tell me I didn't screw up the audio. A Multimedia Jay. No, I didn't. It turns out this microphone was on 50% instead of the usual 70%, so it went back to the default setting on me, and I forgot to change it. Last night I was listening to the stream, and besides being a ramble fest, because I, once again, showed up with way too much stuff to talk about and couldn't stay on a point worth a darn, because of that, as a result of that, I was listening to it, and I was like, the audio is all messed up. It sounded like there was an amplitude envelope constantly making the volume go up and down, even though I know from the meters on here that while I'm doing all of this, everything is consistent going out to YouTube. Turns out Nerdovo or my hack job computer speakers have some kind of issue that I have to figure out that was causing that. It didn't happen on this with or without volume normalization, so I was like, did I screw up my first ever stream on the Ryzen Monolith? I was like, really? So it's going to be a little different tonight because I actually don't have too much to talk about, so we can actually go into depth on things. And I have some different drinks. This Sprite Zero Sugar. I'm going to regret this because soda, even without sugar, is terrible for this kind of stuff because you're like burping 5 minutes later. Which is why we're going to down this as quickly as we can before, see what I tell you, before getting back to the normal stuff. Well, excuse me. That's going to be fun. Yeah, so I suppose the first thing I need to do is get a bigger shovel. Yeah, I got to get a bigger shovel. That was 100% shameless. So that song, a.k.a. the Linus song, is Supernova by Laszlo. Laszlo for those Canadians up in Linus's neck of the woods. And it is in the Monstercat catalog, so it's a Monstercat song. It's not a Linus song. You can subscribe to Monstercat Gold for $7.50 a month US, and get your channel whitelisted for using their music. The fun part is it's a perpetuity license, so if you cancel your sub, you don't get content ID'd unless you upload something when you're not subscribed, or in this case, stream when you're not subscribed. So the last time I bought a Monstercat license was during the whole Monstercat affiliates fiasco where there was a miscommunication between Monstercat and Twitch. Monstercat was supposedly supposed to help people become Twitch affiliates, and so I checked it out just for the heck of it, just to see what was going on, and so I could say I was there. And it turned out it was a miscommunication. Everything collapsed a day later, and a lot of people wound up buying Monstercat subscriptions they didn't really need, myself included, so I canceled it. But there's been some pretty good releases on Monstercat, and really I realize a lot of people are like, oh, that stupid canned music they use in YouTube videos. Well, let me tell you something. That stupid canned music, as you allege, is an indie artist. The YouTube audio library, for example, if you go to the YTAL, and anybody can go to the YTAL, whether you make videos or not, you get access to it in Creator Studio. But you can actually use that as like your Spotify of sorts if you like some of the songs in the YTAL. And YouTube's been rolling out a system where you get auto-credited. Essentially, you get content ID'd, but without getting, any claims against your video if you use YTAL tracks and it's loud enough to get picked up by the algorithm. You can also insert licenses manually if you really wanted to. But, yeah, there's this situation over there. It's the thing where, the newer tracks, at least, you can go to the YouTuber's, page Here we go. Yeah, this was not a good idea. Yeah, you can go to the YouTubers page and actually check out their music. So there's folks like Noir et Blanc V, and I think Ethan Mikesel even has a channel, but his contributions were from years and years ago. If he did some newer ones, maybe there'd be a link back. But I know that Slink has a channel, and I use a lot of his songs. I use a lot of his synthesizer music from time to time. But it's just one of those things where it's not really canned music. It's not like a smart soundtrack. It's indie folks. It's YouTubers. Even Nefix with his Linkin Park sound-alike stuff that I played earlier. He's a guy who runs a YouTube channel dedicated to, royalty-free, nonsense-free music that you can use in your videos. Same thing with Stream Beats with Harris Heller and whatnot, and Senpai Records, where he actually founded a record label for streamer music and stuff like that. But anyways, so the reason why I used Laszlo Supernova for my stream theme for both starting and Be Right Back, we'll use the shorter Quincas Morera one for the end screen like we've been doing all along because it's less than 2 minutes long. I mean, it's a nice little way to button up the end of a stream without having a 6-minute song at the very end. Stuff along those lines. But the reason why I used Laszlo Supernova is because of our discussion today, which is about as weird as our segue to our sponsor. All right, that joke's getting old already. The era of Turbulent Techtubers. I am a little later tonight than I was last night with getting a stream going. I didn't know if I even wanted to stream today. Streaming is not really something I want to do too much of outside of game streaming to showcase technology and stuff like that. And also maybe talk about some issues here and there with feedback from the chat. Although Logan was like, can't go wrong with this one. But we'll see how this goes. So the reason why I used Laszlo Supernova as the stream thing is because, again, Turbulent Techtubers, one of the ways that Linus has been turbulent as a Techtuber is his ongoing fights with his own audience. I mean, guy's one of the most successful tech YouTubers of all time, and yet he runs his own he runs his own media group right now, which if Linus Tech Tips fell apart, they could probably just launch another channel and start something, more fresh and more current to people's tastes. I really think there's enough talent with Linus Media that they could branch out and not be held hostage so much by the Linus Tech Tips YouTube channel or even by YouTube in general. It's just like we got Floatplane out there, which is their attempt at building a CDN, or whatever it is. It's kind of like a YouTube competitor type thingy. But there were videos available on Floatplane when those goofballs hacked into his channel a while back. But the thing is here, I thought it was weird when Twitch streamers were getting turbulent when they started crying about their own success for some reason. They get successful, they make a bunch of money off of essentially being on camera, and yet they're miserable. It's like, you talk about money not being able to buy happiness. That's a wonderful example of that. So one of the ways in which Linus has been fighting with his audience is over the use of his own intro music. It's just, oh my goodness. So he's been working on phasing it out, according to some tweets on Twitter. Why? Matter of fact, since I'm licensed for the song, I can actually go to the video, but first a segue to our sponsor. No, that joke's pretty much done at this point. Give me browser mode and hook it up to Firefox. So before we get to that, I figured the YouTube algorithms would do this. Look what the Mouseover preview was to that stream last night. See, I thought that up on the spur of the moment. I'm like, I have a PowerPoint truck going across the screen, and why don't we just pretend to get run over by it? And knowing YouTube, how the algorithm keeps picking the subscription animation in order to, for the Mouseover preview, for whatever reason. Now, I don't know why. I figured it would do this. So let's see which of these... turned into the Mouseover preview, and here we are. All right, back to the actual point. Let me change this over here and let me go look up Laszlo Supernova. L-A-S-Z Supernova. Saying it like an American right now. There's the Monstercat release. Unfortunately, I don't get ad-free playback. Unfortunately, let's just go theater mode. Get to do this. Unfortunately, I don't get ad-free playback off of. I don't get ad-free playback for this. Video will play after the ad. Is this one? It's 15. Oh, it's. Oh, okay. Well, that's cute. Anyways, look at some of these comments. Right? We could all use. We could all use more of this sort of thing in our lives, just like use more protection from our sponsor, NordVPN. That's how I was joking about the channel getting hacked. But let's look at some of the other ones. Every time I hear this song, I have the urge to build a new computer. Unlike some electronic music, Supernova is just amazing, just like today's sponsor, Glasswire. I feel the tech tips flowing through my veins. Played this to my mom. Now she's a motherboard. Monstercat, we dropped the bass. Linus, we dropped every single computer component. This is smooth, almost as smooth as this segue to our sponsor. Look, yeah, you have Linus fan after 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 Linus fan relating this to Linus. It is absolutely the Linus song at this point. How many more Linus fans need to populate this comment section? And let's switch from top comments to most recent comments. So this makes me want to drop an RTX 3090 Ti. This song was stuck in my mind as science exam, a chapter about space, which had the meaning of supernova. So there's finally, all this time, here's finally something not related to Linus Tech Tips. I love electro, just like I love today's sponsor, Tunnel Bear. When I listen to this song, I feel the urge to tell tech tips. I feel Linus Tech Tips through my brain. Bro, I was wondering this morning what music does LTT use, and I put some YouTube mix and I finally found it. OMG. Play this vid at 1 1/4 speed for more epicness. One simple trick makes any CPU so scared it turns into a 13900K. Like all these Linus comments, both top comments and recent comments, you know, and that's an ad for like helping wildlife when there's oil spills. So that's cute. Hope the poor duck was okay. All of this, look, all of this Linus stuff, and you know, this song is absolutely the Linus song at this point. I realize legally that is not the case. It is a Monstercat catalog song. Hey, that's somebody doesn't have a muffler. Hillbillies. But yeah, legally that is a Monstercat song. But look, you know, in people's minds, that is absolutely Linus. For him to walk away from that song after how entrenched that is, and be like, oh, well, maximize the algorithm, we have to do this, is completely and totally stupid. Now, here's what the counter would be if Linus were to see this. He would just be like, this guy's just some rando on the internet. He don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, well, unfortunately, just like our mother always said, what's right is not always popular, and what's popular is not always right. That applies to people, too. Who's right is not always popular, and who's popular is not always right. No. You got all these people, you got all these fans out there, including people that are like, where'd the Linus music go? You know, and there seems to be something missing without some segue and some dad joke with the Linus Tech Tips logo. It's just like, there seems to be something missing in Linus's videos, but he thinks he can do better. He really does think that he can do better by ditching his own theme song. Let me actually load that up. Well, there's the World of Warcraft directory. I don't want that, but I do want to be on YouTube. Let's see. What exactly is he getting for views on his videos? Let me just look at his most recent ones. And by the way, even if, let's see, it was like a couple of months ago, yeah, he has AVGN. He's still, despite everything that's going on with Techtubers right now, he still has AVGN levels of views on his videos. Look at this crap. Oh, I gotta get rid of the theme song. Million, 1.1, 1.7, 1.1, 2 mil, 2 mil. He's getting millions of views, really? Getting millions of views? And what's this? Finally, he gets like 6. He doesn't go below 6-digit views on his videos. He doesn't go, and he's annoying people in his audience because of no theme music. And even to this day, over on that Ryzen thing, even to this day, over on that Monstercat song, people are still saying it's a Linus song. It's over, Linus. People associate that theme with your videos. Suck it up, pay the business license to Monstercat, and put the darn song back. And if you don't want to put the song back, use it as the theme for the Start Soon screen for the WAN show. Give me a WAN show. Give me just a stream replay on the WAN show. Oh, look, I love corporate greed shills. Yeah, I watched some of this.
Pianoland relies on Spectrum.
Let's give Oost. Yay, Charter. Woo! Video will play after ads. We have multiple unskippables here. Whatever. Well, we'll send the ad revenue his way because we're nice like that. What's the other ad? Cascade dishwashing stuff. Woo! Do the dishes with Cascade. And now a segue to our sponsor. All right. These are two unskippables totaling 30 seconds, which was probably why YouTube, which is 100% probably the reason why YouTube is, let me just back this up to the very beginning, which is 100% the reason why YouTube is, looking at 30-second unskippables. So here's where the WAN show starts. They're just goofing around. How late is WAN show? Record 8 minutes late. There's where it starts, right there. You know? Put a Start Soon screen on. You can go into the YouTube editor afterwards and chop it off for people that want to watch the replay. But why not just play that song as the intro to the WAN show if you don't want to use it for anything else? Like, this is, sadly though, this is just one example of turbulent content creators, the Techtuber edition. Something that I've been seeing for a couple of years, and it started with Jay's 2 cents and Paul's Hardware, but now it's going to go somewhere else too. Logan says, the whole intro thing is strange because some videos have it and some don't. Personally, I agree. I don't think it should go away because it's way too iconic to just get rid of. So here's the thing. This is an argument that I've already gotten into over on Twitter, because Twitter is the place to have arguments, even though some of the people doing it might not even be actual people in this day and age of bots and AI. Bottoms up. Knocking back some more of this stuff. Excuse me. I want to finish this because this isn't insulated, so it's going to get warm. Then it's going to taste like carbonated hummingbird food or whatever. You know, Pedialyte actually is trying to sell itself as a sports drink. Yeah, the stuff for, like, if your baby has diarrhea, it needs to be rehydrated or something. Yeah. Change the brand, Pedialyte. Pedia means baby. Stop selling Pedialyte to stupid people that don't know their Greek and Latin roots. The flunked English class, whatever. Or maybe that's the target market, but that's another discussion. So, see, Logan, the whole intro thing is strange. Here's the thing. I've gotten into this argument because one of the ways in which YouTube is growing as a service right now is television use. People watching YouTube on their smart TVs. And I'm like, you don't say. Look, here's the thing with internet video. This applies to YouTube and this applies to TikTok. And I think this is going to be enough of a discussion that besides, Jay's Nerd Lounge, welcome to Jay's Nerd Lounge. We're going to put this in the playlist for the multimedia meta discussions on content creation, because fundamentally, talking computery stuff here, talking about Techtubers, we're talking about Techtubers as well and content creation in general. But here's the thing. Television is where things are growing with YouTube, because people are discovering the smart TV app. Plopping down, watching YouTube videos. There's plenty of high enough quality stuff, as well as a few TV shows and movies. YouTube also does like a video on demand service as well nowadays, that people can use the smart TV app and poke around with their remote controls. Now, here we go. Never use soda for podcasty stuff. So YouTube is working on TV type stuff. Now, the progression of YouTube content and the development of internet video has gone in the direction of being more for small screens, stuff that you're watching on the go or stuff that you're watching when you're bored. Look at TikTok, for example. It's just little bits and pieces here and there, and you just scroll through them as you watch them or let them scroll automatically or whatever. But the thing is, internet video has gone in this direction for years. TikTok is a symptom, not the problem. Actually, TikTok is the result of something that had already been going on with internet videos for years at this point. They basically have been going in this direction. And what you see with the generic Linus-style tech videos, I call them, even though Linus and his folks have moved away from that a bit, mostly the Linus knockoffs do the video style that I used to associate with Linus several years ago, but they haven't adapted yet. Think like Austin Evans or any one of these no-name tech tubers that are trying to look like Linus, but they don't realize even Linus doesn't do things that way anymore. Stuff along those lines. But long form versus short form is a war at this point because they both have their cultures. On the TikTok short form, shorter is better side of things, less is more. What's this flash drive doing there? It's left over. Yeah, it's left over from when I was toying around with the new system. See, make sure I actually drop it in the box. So, small screen stuff. Small screen stuff for like phones and stuff noodling around. You wake up and you don't want to get up to go to school if you're a Zoomer and Alpha, and you just mess around on Instagram and stuff like that or whatever. That lends itself to a certain kind of format. But on the other hand, and that lends itself to an entire culture centered around making stuff as quick as possible. Yeah, making stuff as quick and tightly edited as possible with no real like theatrical presentation or showmanship to it. And one of the side effects of that is all the videos start blending into each other. Excuse me. This stuff, man. When you get past the first or second tier of tech tubers and you get to the people that are inspired by those tech tubers, the videos and the people doing them all start blending together. And it gets to the point where you're like, I've watched the same video but with a different face. And sometimes that problem bleeds its way up to the top tiers as well. Like what I was doing before I went live, and one of the reasons why I took longer to go live tonight is because I was watching videos which are essentially completely and totally vacuous. They bring nothing to the table other than you like that it's Steve Burke doing the Gamers Nexus video or whatnot. So there's some NVIDIA cards that are being developed, and there's some preliminary information that's been released about them. So these YouTubers have nothing to make a video about. Nothing concrete. It is AMD Zen all over again. I actually made fun of this on Twitter, and I posted a link to my Ryzen speculation, that generic Ryzen speculation video with the computer voice that I did all those years ago. That video is making fun of the fact that so many people were doing Ryzen speculation videos, and yet the chip hadn't even launched yet. So you had all these tech tubers on YouTube, everybody trying to jump on the Ryzen hype bandwagon. They're making YouTube videos that had literally no substance to them. Nobody had the processor. They couldn't review it. They couldn't benchmark it. They couldn't do anything except regurgitate everything the press release has already said. And if you can do that, why don't you just go read the darn press release? Look at the PowerPoint slides. It'd probably be quicker if you looked at the specifications for the 4060 Ti than listen to somebody's 15-minute long YouTube video so they can squeeze in some mid-roll ads. Like, I'm getting sick of this with regular Google. I search for something, how to do something on Google, and the first result is a YouTube video. And I'm like, I don't want to watch some 15-minute algorithm kiss-ass YouTube video to get a simple 5-second answer to a question. I don't care who the YouTuber is, and sometimes it's bots with computer voices that are generating generic videos without even putting human talent in them in order to play the algorithm and top the search results. So I don't want to watch someone's 15-minute video to get a 5-second answer on why some BIOS setting in my computer isn't right or whatever. Like, YouTube needs to get videos out of the top search results. Like, it's just not a good use of people's time. Have people click over to like the videos tab and search on the videos tab for that kind of thing. Turn the video search on Google into something akin to Google Shopping, but with video sites. Maybe they can promote YouTube first because it's their own whatever. But I'm sick and tired of Google searching stuff, and the first result is a rambly YouTube video, especially when it doesn't get straight to the point. Hi, everybody, this is so-and-so generic YouTuber who looks like every other generic YouTuber that does these generic videos because hopefully I can break through the algorithm, and then I'll cry about the algorithm when I'm not as successful as the people I'm copying that came before me. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here's what you actually click to see. Bonus points if there's like a mid-roll ad or if there's in-video advertising as part of the video. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So, yeah. Why do I do that? Why do I do that when I'm like that? I don't know. Yeah, absolutely stupid. So, this needs to stop. Anyways. Turbulent Techtubers. So we have these videos about these new NVIDIA cards. Nobody can actually do anything about it. So look at what the actual structure of the video is. Take the Gamers Nexus video, because that's the one I paid the most attention to. So Steve starts out repeating what's on the press release. Then he goes into speculation. Then he goes into theory crafting. Nothing concrete. It's not a real video about the 4060 Ti. Now, then I go to Hardware Unbox, and they do the exact same thing, but at least in their speculation, which is not concrete, which is still pseudo-rumors at this point, nobody's got the card, nobody's benchmarked the card, nobody actually knows how this thing performs, and in this day and age where we know that NVIDIA and AMD are getting lazy in their old age with GPUs, why do we think anything exciting is going to come out anytime soon? Just get your 1080p card and be happy. Get your 4K card and be happy. Whatever you're gaming at, get an appropriate graphics card, and then sit on your money until these folks decide to actually work to earn your dollar again. Oh, and those of you people with 2060 Supers that you're running into the ground, sit on those too. Like, it's absurd. But at least at the end of the Hardware Unboxed video, they at least tried to put things in perspective with regards to 4060 Ti versus 4060 and then 3060 Ti versus 3060. They at least tried to do that. But fundamentally, these two videos that I watched, and literally every other video just like them, change out the names, change out the faces, change out the product being yammered about. It's literally the exact same problem. These are videos that don't need to exist. These are videos that bring nothing to the table. They have no content. They are 100% filler. They do absolutely nothing for you as a consumer. Nothing. Now, you know that these people don't have a leg to stand on. Don't waste your time giving them watch time. Speculation and clout is basically clout chasing for Techtubers. They don't have the goods, but they're gonna try and fake it till they make it. Absolutely ridiculous. Is there a Jay's 2 cents video on this too? Maybe I should go take a look at that. But no, I know it's gonna be similar. It'll be similar with Jay's 2 cents. It'll be similar with UFD Tech. It'll be similar with Greg Salazar. It'll be similar with everybody. Because it's the same thing, the same con, and people keep falling for it. You'll watch a tech video even if there's no tech in the video because nobody can actually get the tech yet. That's people for you. And so, but expect more of that. Expect more of that because turbulent tech tubers are going to be more and more of a thing. Last go around, we talked about how brands are moving away from tech tubers. We talked about how there is no intelligent business reason whatsoever, and I still haven't signed in on Twitter on this logon. But there is no intelligent business reason whatsoever for brands to care about tech tubers anymore. It just all right, let's take browser mode here and let's link it up to Chrome. There is no intelligent reason. Log into Twitter. No thanks. There is no. I'll do that later. I don't plan on tweeting on the stream log on anytime soon. So there is no intelligent reason whatsoever for brands to care about Techtubers anymore. They don't need to worry about Linus. They don't need to worry about Jay. They don't have to worry about any of these folks. They don't have to worry about tech deals. They don't have to worry about any of them. And this is the reason why. This kind of boils down what we talked about last time. Tech video people will buy one piece of hardware and argue about literally everything else out there. There is absolutely zero reason for brands to have not looked for a replacement for big tech YouTubers and their argumentative audiences over the past few years. So we talked about how you can't make a tech video of like your first view or whatever without getting picked apart by all these internet know-it-alls. Just got a comment response to a comment I made on the Toasty Bros guys video, one of the few tech tubers actually like these days. And as in being positive towards them, not like neutral or negative. Kind of neutral towards most of the big guys. They all have their baggage these days. But this is fundamentally something that we could only get away with for so long before these brands fought back, especially with the changing world because of the pandemic lockdowns. People have been introduced to streamers, they've been introduced to influencers, and they've been introduced to gamers and game streamers, professional gamers and game streamers who represent a much more brand-friendly way for tech companies to get their products out in front of eyeballs. If the brands go to tech video people, they're going to an audience of highly antagonistic people who are going to buy their favorite thing, and probably very few of them will actually be smart shoppers because they'll just do whatever someone else says. Now, they don't. This is like the whole fake it till you make it thing again. I talked about that guy I went to college with. He didn't have an electronics background, and yet he was trying to build a computer. And he was doing rudimentary electronics things wrong and wondering why his computer wouldn't boot. So, and this is Athlon XP era, when there were no heat spreaders on AMD chips yet. So you ran a very big risk of cracking the die if you put your heatsink on crooked. You didn't have that heatsink lined up just so, or you let something go wrong when you're applying it. You ran a very real risk of cracking the die, which wouldn't be covered under warranty because you broke it. You know, but my run-in with the arrogant guy who made fun of my HP, ha ha, HP, ha ha ha, and more recently in this age of social media and algorithms, I was introduced to his LinkedIn page a while back, and he talks about himself in the third person now. Woo! Yeah, so that guy was my first run-in with this kind of Dunning-Kruger tech people that you'll see in comment sections on YouTube, Twitter, Reddit, the whole nine yards. Because that's one of the fundamental weaknesses of the internet. Everybody can hop on the internet and have a web page, have a blog, express their opinions, but opinions don't have to be factual. And these folks don't have to be experts. They don't have to have their stuff vetted. And there could be stuff that's wrong in it. Their opinions could be wrong. They could be a fanboy, the whole nine yards. This is something that us older folks were skeptical of in the 90s when it was called the World Wide Web instead of internet, not even the internet. My phone doesn't have internet right now. Long before that era. If you used internet sources in a school paper, your teacher would flunk you and tell you to go to the library and do some real research. Because we knew back then anybody could have a website. You know, there wasn't really the kind of vetting and stuff for outside of services like LexisNexis and stuff you would find at your library. So, yeah, it wasn't like, I'm citing my sources. Joe's website on technology tells me the Pentium 2 is a good processor. Like, that's not a good enough source. We used to be skeptical about that stuff, but now a generation later in the 2020s, we have people's grandmas spreading misinformation on Facebook. Like, it's just and then you have more people doing this crap. People who have no leg to stand on, presenting themselves like they're an equal to somebody like, like Jim Keller, the hotshot engineer who's responsible for a lot of the engineering that goes into Ryzen, or Raja Kaduri, or some of these folks that have actually been over, I wouldn't say over their heads, but definitely working around lots of very solid tech for a long time. And that's another thing you can do with these influencers too, like Jay's 2 Cents and the like. Watch for cracks in their knowledge base that expose that they're just coming up with things to say on camera. I remember a long time ago when it was finally outed to me that Patrick Norton, yeah, the guy from the Screensavers, he was an English major. He didn't even have a formal education in technology. He was just really good at journalism and got into tech later. So that, in my book, puts him a tier below people that actually develop the hard skills, that are actually STEM people, that actually have worked with the hardware and the fundamentals and the rudiments of technology. Just like in the case of my college situation where my colleague's computer, Mr. Arrogant over there, didn't work on the first try, but mine did. Because I took precautions. I didn't risk cracking the die. I let M-Wave build my CPU for me and test it before they shipped it to me. Then I plugged in the RAM, the graphics card, screwed it into the case, applied power, plugged everything in, set the jumpers, the whole 9 yards. But this guy's over here roughhousing his components, slamming video cards in at a 45-degree angle, not watching what he's doing, and wondering why stuff doesn't work on the first try, and he plays RMA tennis with M-Wave and Newegg just to get everything working. So this is not a new problem. And unfortunately, like we talked about before, the bill has come due. We've been replaced, folks. We've been replaced. Brands know that they don't need brands know that they don't need us. They can bypass us completely because there's a whole new breed of influencer with more concurrence and views than what was there before. Brands don't have to put up with us in order to make a bunch of money selling stuff. They don't have to worry about Steve Burke and his fans boycotting Asus for the motherboard thing. There's plenty of people who don't nerd out on the internet about every little thing. There's plenty of people who don't nerd out on the internet about every little thing that are still going to buy Asus motherboards. Maybe they might burn up some more processors. And I can tell you from the business side of things, Asus has a compelling interest in fixing this. Look, a lot of folks think about businesses like these gangsters in suits, like it's like a prohibition movie or something taking place in the 1930s in some dark room with a single light bulb coming down from the ceiling, conniving and scheming about how they're going to take everybody's money. Asus does not have that luxury. No, they don't. Because some activist somewhere, if it wasn't somebody like Steve Burke, would challenge them legally. Or there'd be people out there who would deliberately not download the BIOS that voids their warranty, burn the chip, and then, hey, RMA it. I wasn't doing anything wrong and it broke. Honor the warranty and stuff along those lines. It would have eventually been a situation where there was goodwill on the line, there were costs on the line, all kinds of other stuff. Asus would eventually fix the problem. I think what Steve is talking about, making it look like he's this crusader for the consumer, which gets him clicks, by the way. I think what Steve was doing, showboating as some kind of crusader for the consumer is just a histrionic move. For those of you who don't know the word, histrionic means attention-getting behavior. You know that one person that always has to be the center of attention, that's constantly trying to get eyes on them? That's histrionic behavior. We had some of that with the folks at the warehouse. We had someone come in. They were histrionic as all heck. Couldn't even do like the stretches we do at the start of shift so we don't get injured muscling boxes around without making a big show of it. And I was like, settle down. Whatever job you came from, we're not like that. All you're going to do is artificially make your job harder by starting drama. Just come in, especially on selection. We have a new pick-to-light system now that stays lit all the time instead of blinking like a Christmas tree. So literally, you walk to all the red lights, grab the quantity of stuff, put it in the thing, push the button, send it down the belt. Simple. Rinse, lather, repeat until the big doorbell goes off and it's break time. Rinse, lather, repeat until the doorbell goes off and it's lunchtime. Rinse, lather until break and then end of the shift. You just do what's in front of you and just turn your brain off and do your job. Shut up. Don't start stuff. Don't psych yourself out over stupid stuff. And the job is just one thing after another, and you're done. Done, 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 done. See ya. Especially during the quieter parts of the year, like right now, where routinely we're getting out early. So it's just doesn't have to be difficult. Doesn't have to matter as much. Doesn't have to be all wild. Either way. A lot of people they think that companies are slimier than they actually are. If there is something big enough that they can get sued for it, you'll see lawyers doing some kind of class action. You'll see somebody doing something, but it won't necessarily need to be STEM people that do this, because there's a lot of folks who have a lot to gain from going after companies that are misbehaving. You'll see them start things up there. But like I said, last go round, it is tech video people's behavior that has created this, because we are basically an obstacle now to be bypassed. The brands don't have to, and you'll be seeing more shilling for stores from folks like Gamers Nexus, LTT, etc. You'll be seeing all of this shilling going on because that's where they're going to have to get their money from in order to keep operating, because there's no intelligent reason whatsoever for brands to send them stuff. Why should they? They're huge influencers that can get product in front of lots of eyeballs without criticizing it. So there's a huge, call them normies if you want, but they are a gigantic block of customers. And now there's an easy way to get product in front of them, eyeballs on the product, and see it in action, instead of these stupid little speculation videos, arguments on the internet, and potentially getting bad press from a Techtuber. So companies and brands, they're going to, it's like I said, things are changing, and it's going to change. Let me see, what else should I look into here? Looked at hardware unboxed, etc. Turbulent Techtubers, Yum Yum Lava Burrito. Yeah. But anyways, I suppose before we continue on with this or go to a break, we should probably talk about, some of the content creators I don't watch and the reasons why. I put up a screenshot of Jay's 2 cents when he picked some fights on the internet a couple of years ago on Twitter. He called someone from India a pleb and stuff like that after making a semi-racist comment about how every spam email he gets is from India and the Philippines. Like, yeah, in a global world. Well, Jay's 2 cents has always struck me as somebody with a lot of turbulence, even before all of this became a thing. And now if you go to his Twitter, he says, this account is no longer monitored for use for any reason other than to post video links. So congratulations, you couldn't handle Twitter. Congratulations. Congratulations on not being able to handle Twitter. Like, what does that say about you? Why should I watch someone like that? Answer, I shouldn't. And you know what? His content has been stale since then. It's just like, I don't need to see this anxious old guy shilling technology when he's not telling Asus they're fired, and doing other stuff to clout chase and fish for clicks. So Jay's 2 cents has had Jay's 2 cents has the same problem as Twitch streamers. He's one way on camera most of the time, and then he's another way on Twitter. So Captain Two-Face over here. And then, of course, he got all thin-skinned on Twitter and now has a thing. Oh, well, I don't use Twitter anymore. Congratulations, you couldn't handle it. What kind of a person? What kind of a leader are you, or whatever in the tech sector? You are not. You don't need to be dragged into arguments on Twitter with anybody. Like, either way. So I don't watch Jay because of that crap. The Tech Deals guy earlier outed himself as a total pompous jackass, making fun of first-time homebuyers, and also tweeting about all kinds of random stuff that really should be on a personal account. Now, if his account on Twitter corresponded to him personally, instead of the Tech Deals channel, which last I checked wasn't a variety channel, it's called Tech Deals for Pete's sake, this would make more sense. And that's the key difference between Tech Deals guy and myself. I mean, I will handle issues that matter to me on my Twitter because it's related to me, just like this channel, Multimedia J. I run the YouTube channel Old School. like in the 2000s when it was people communicating with people, and it wasn't about orgs and businesses and folks trying to suck money out of people all the time, or companies trying to look hip and trendy. Stuff like that. Once upon a time, YouTube was the video version of MySpace. People picked a name and they had fun with it. And it wasn't exactly the highest of quality. There were technical restrictions, but it drew people away from highly produced cable television. Why? Because the people were more believable, even if they were doing stuff like wearing sunglasses indoors and doing stuff like this. Twitch, to an extent, has some of this going on. And some people on Twitch are more personable and they get viewers as a result of that. But we know that Twitch is fundamentally limited in lots of other ways. But either way, so that's the whole thing. Dan says, I notice a lot of things are being different. Well, you're going to see the types. What I would do is watch these Techtubers and pay attention to the structure of their video, not necessarily what it's about. And you're going to start seeing this pattern develop where they're trying to stay relevant, even though the brands are trying to dodge people like us. You know, they'll get more sales by selling their stuff to people that will just buy something because of the brand name. They'll get more sales by selling to a game streamer on Twitch with a large audience who's not going to criticize anything unless the computer goes down. So, you know, they just put their product in front of eyeballs, people like it, and they buy it. And as long as they don't get as obnoxious as Raid Shadow Legends. Stuff like that. So, sponsorships bring in more money for streamers than things like ads do. So you sign deals, and they also can put in the deal, and the gamer will actually probably sign it because they're not in the business of critiquing and offering commentary. But they could probably put in the agreement to not badmouth the product. Kind of like how ZeniMax over on ESO with the ESO stream team has a clause in the stream, which I screenshotted for the next time they close applications. But the stream team requires you to say, we allow some criticism, but we absolutely do not allow bashing of the game or individuals. So your ability to criticize Elder Scrolls Online is entirely at the discretion of the overlords at ZeniMax. So you are compromised just by being in the stream team. One of the reasons why I stopped watching all the ESO streamers, because they're all colluding with each other, trying to prop each other up as Twitch is in decline. And I really don't. Yeah, no, forget it. So Dan says, instead of making interesting content, they go talk about new GPUs. I think I said on Twitter, I think they would talk about, rather they talk about other things for a while. It's all empty speculation videos. That's all it is. They literally can't make a video because they don't have the hardware. But there's also the copycat thing where they don't want to be the one person who's not talking about it, so they have to make their filler video. That's basically how the Ryzen speculation videos went all over the place when everybody was talking about Ryzen. FOMO. They're afraid of missing out. Anyways, back to the folks I don't watch. So I stopped watching Jay's 2 Cents because he was picking fights on Twitter. I stopped watching the Tech Deals guy because he was looking like an ass on Twitter, being a total two-face, not realizing that he needs to have personal accounts for his personal opinions. His Twitter is called Tech Deals. His YouTube is called Tech Deals. I expect just Tech Deals related stuff on that Twitter. Take the personal crap, talking about homeowners or your politics or whatever, and put it on something else. Your Twitter does not correspond to you as a personality. Get that crap off of there. If you want to be a personality, be a personality. You know, if you want to be like a radio jock, be like a talk radio jock. If that's even such a thing. You want to go to the talk radio route? You want to go commentary? You want to go your opinions on things matter? And you want to engage the audience and try to entertain them? Go that route. Don't have a channel called Tech Deals, which sounds like, something I'd get on a Honey plugin or something. We found coupons for you on this Newegg purchase. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, pick what you want to be known for. Pick the scope of what you want to be known for and stick to it. There is a personality element to what it is that I do. It is one of the reasons why my channel is small. So, Logan says, didn't you say a while ago that personal accounts on Twitter these days are useless? It depends on what you're using the social media for. But look, it's about differentiating between these people that have built a brand and people that are just people that are personalities taking the more interpersonal human route like me. The Tech Deals guy, I'm not going to go to the Tech Deals guy to get his opinion on first-time home buyers. And his Twitter goes all over the place versus what he does, including some negative stuff. Some of it was just totally condescending and talking down to people who have trouble affording a home. You know, in this day and age where private equity landlords are jacking up rents, that's a totally tone-deaf thing to say. So, in terms of, I'd have to look back at what my reasoning was for personal Twitters being useless, but there's not much of a reason to have a Twitter anymore because I think Elon Musk is going to slow burn the platform into obsolescence. But the thing is, it might also be Facebook as well. If you're going to like just do stuff for family and friends, talk about IRL stuff, talk about daily minutia, then yeah, Facebook is more catered to that because you can keep it to just people in your inner circle. The minute you go public, though, there's certain things you don't want to be wasting people's time whining about on Twitter or in a comments section or on Reddit or any of that kind of crap. I'd have to look back and see what my logic was back then because there's sometimes where the months blend together so much that I'm kind of forgetting what I was talking about a few months ago and stuff. But in terms of personal Twitters, I think Facebook is probably a better place for a personal page for like family and friends. I guess when I say personal Twitter for somebody like the Tech Deals guy, no, he should like present himself as a personality there. That might be a better word for it. So if he wants to go away from just being the Tech Deals guy and become more of a general commentator about things and have opinions and take that route, he should totally get it off the Tech Deals Twitter because it's jarring. You go from seeing his friendly, almost QVC style tech videos to what the hell is this? At least I'm edgy on here. I'm just like, I'll be a smartass about stuff on YouTube and I'll be a smartass about things on Twitter. But it'll be more consistent. You pretty much know what to expect. But don't come across as like this milquetoast QVC type personality, and then I go to your Twitter and you're this completely different person. Just like you shouldn't come off as this friendly gamer on Twitch, and then I go to Twitter and I see you're having meltdowns about political stuff and mental health and all kinds of other stuff, and you just go from Jekyll to Hyde. Especially in this day and age where people get other people to click to your other socials. Why? So they can see that the friendly person they watch on Twitch is this nut job on Twitter who's trying to get someone they hate canceled? Seriously. Oh, Dan says, I think it was about ESO devs using the company accounts as their personal Twitter. Actually, that exactly was one of the problems with Rich Lambert because he's a creative director. His position by default over at ZeniMax means that he will always be linked to ZeniMax and the products, even with a disclaimer that this is just my personal opinion. That might be it, Dan. There's certain high-profile people and companies, usually HR people, put this in like, policy and stuff like that for their social media policies. But companies don't want you dragging the brand through the mud. When you take somebody like Greg Street, for example, Ghostcrawler, he was a big dev with Blizzard in the Wrath of the Lich King days, went to, what was it, Riot or something, and worked on League of Legends. He's been a big dev with various companies to the point where he can't say anything without it being associated with the company and the products, because he's basically a celebrity for the companies that he's worked for, and in the case of Blizzard, gotten on the BlizzCon stage and been a talking head for. So maybe that's what the issue is. So Jay's 2 cents, Two-Face, the Tech Deals guy, Two-Face. Paul's Hardware was upset because his views dropped, and the algorithm was messing with him, but he has like hundreds of thousands of subs. Let me see what his channel looks like these days. Give me my Firefox. Don't know if I want to put it on the screen or not. See, but Paul's had some turbulent spells and situations where he wasn't keeping it professional on his Twitter. Let's see here. Oh look, I see Jay's 2 cents in an ad for Digital Storm custom built PCs. Well, wow. He has nearly 1.5 million subs, gets like 6-digit views on his videos, and has been upset multiple times. Is that a car or a motorcycle? I don't know. He's been upset multiple times over YouTube stuff when he's further along than most of us will ever be. Again, with these content creators that hate their own success. What the hell, man? So, anyways, you know what? For comparison's sake, and just to show, let's finish off the list first. The other person I won't watch is UFD Tech because he's done FUD and antagonistic things, and half the darn videos he sounds like someone's putting a gun to his head. He's always not just turbulent in terms of content, so he's turbulent in terms of he's like Review Tech USA, basically. He's like Review Tech USA. He always has this turbulent undercurrent, and I really don't want to be watching someone else exude their problems onto everybody around them, no matter what they've been through. I have my own problems, thank you very much, and they're enough for me. I don't need to see yours. You know, if you're doing tech videos, I want to see the tech. I don't want you to whine about or sound like sound like you've been constipated for 2 weeks. Like, seriously? You need help? Get help. Don't drag yourself down. Don't drag yourself down just to make videos on YouTube. Simple. And lastly, Greg Salazar. I don't care who likes him. I will not watch his videos because he's been an incendiary contrarian, and I really don't feel like dealing with someone else's attitude problems just to find out about the latest AMD Radeon or whatever. Seriously. Now, this guy has been a smarmy jackass who has played the contrarian game, and I see right through that crap. It's like that, there's an old clip, I have it in my classic YouTube playlist, Rush Limbaugh, long time ago, before he even had any gray hair, like 80s. So, but before he went off the deep end as a conservative commentator, he was talking about how talk radio works when he was more known as just being a big radio guy. Yeah, he was known for being conservative, but he wasn't known for the off-the-deep-end conservatism that we have nowadays. Just more general Republican stuff. But in his earlier days, he did an interview, forgot what show it was on, where he talked about personalities on talk radio. Their objective is to make you mad, because if they can get you screaming at your radio, they've got you hooked. So they get people's gears turning. They make some people like them, some people hate them, but overall, it helps with people tuning into them to make people mad. But that has its consequences. Howard Stern grew up with him being a big radio celebrity. Lots of folks I went to school with listen to Howard Stern. Some because their parents said don't listen to it because it's inappropriate, and we were bratty teenagers at the time, you know. Then I found out that he's a concealed carry guy, and he always has a gun on him because he thinks someone's going to try and shoot him or kill him or whatever. Like, yeah, well, I guess if you've been making people mad on the airwaves and that's your claim to fame as your career, then yeah, you would have to take precautions in case some whack job tried to take you out. And I'm like, do I really want to be that way? Should anybody really want to be that way? That's the risk you take by going out of your way to tick people off, is that you're probably going to succeed. And hopefully the people that you succeed in ticking off aren't total wackos. Anyways. Is that it, basically? Yeah, I think that's it. There's a whole bunch of tech folks that I won't watch. Linus, sometimes I just tune in just for the hell of it. But he's got some problems, too. I've seen him get antagonistic and fight with his audience in his wimpy nerd, squeaky voice kind of way. And stuff like that, but he has been antagonistic to his audience despite his success. And this thing with the music and whatnot not being in his videos anymore, that's also something that is also, you know, something that, right, it's just, that's also something that's an issue here. But at the core of it all, let me just close this out here. Looks like Athene took down the Ask Jesus mirror from YouTube. It was only getting 3 concurrents. Guys got to be more consistent. Take me back to browser mode here. Here's Paul's Hardware. Let me link it up to the Paul's Hardware thing that I have going here. Here's Paul's Hardware, and this is a guy that has been upset multiple times at YouTube because while he's getting all these views on these videos, 90,000, 100,000, he's following the 1-digit rule. Look, Paul's following the 1-digit. Well, maybe not so much now he's past the million mark. But wait, yeah. Millions is 7 digits. He has a lot of 6-digit view videos, so he's 1 decimal point away. Why is this an issue? Like, why not enjoy your success and scale it? Now, if you have to get a more stable job, it's not the end of the world, especially when you're posting videos like once or twice a week. Linus, 8-digit subs, tens of mils, gets single-digit mil views, except for rare exceptions like this one. What's the problem? Let's go see Jay. Jay's 2 cents, 3 million subs. Dear PC industry. Oh, what's this? 3 million subs, gets 6-digit views, sometimes cracks 7 digits. He's 1 decimal point away. And you might know this guy. 4-digit subs. Granted, my channel's really old, so there might be a lot of inactives in there that YouTube keeps cleaning up. 4-digit subs, and my best videos are cracking 3 digits. You know, Monolith versus Monolith was just a screenshot thingy. You know, just something I did for fun. But the tech videos are going back up in terms of maybe the algorithm's actually doing something with them anymore, with them again. Who knows? And I can even branch away to stuff like televisions and audio-visual stuff. And some people understand that my interest in tech is broader than just computers now. So I'm seeing 3-digit views on videos like the one about the retro gaming setup, which is basically TVs and stuff. World of the Nerd Couple was just an experiment, but even these have crept up a bit towards like 50 views or something. Like, so this though is probably the stuff that I've had around the longest at this point on a consistent basis, 10 years of this stuff. And I just improved the audio for these things by dropping the audio for the voice and the sounds down to mono, keeping the music as stereo for a better soundstage for headphone users. Been watching older vids, maybe others doing the same. Yeah, well, what I do is not time sensitive. You want to know the story of Monolith? You want to know the tinkering with the Delosaurus that I did back in 2012? It's there, and you can just go through it. And I have a robust catalog of playlists for people to binge watch stuff. So, liked videos. Oh, why is my life so bad? Yeah, I was liking some Cats versus Record Players, World of the Nerd Couple in chronological order. Let's go to created playlists there. Pornhub. Hope that doesn't get me demonetized because of the graphic. Music playlists for popular songs. Even a playlist with only 1 video in them, like when I did that playthrough of Octopath Traveler back when I had Xbox Live Game Pass. The Streams Orchestral Quartet, that's for like chill thingies that I used to listen to on a CD player. Last 4 songs on the CD were all instrumental, so I kept using to listen to that. I even have some other people's stuff in there too, like every video that Rachel has done for Creator Insider because she works with analytics and algorithm stuff. I keep a playlist of it. Why I don't play Overwatch? It's pretty much what it is, including the smirk. It's toxic Overwatch players basically turning the game into a kiddie game, and that's the reason why I don't play Overwatch. So, like, some of these playlists are better than others, but the playlist tabs is what it is for a reason. Summer the Geek starts with that Gateway commercial with that model that was making fun of Britney Spears and Gwen Stefani. Stuff like that. Forgotten 45's less popular songs over the years. In the 90s, it sounded like everyone had a drum machine. Yeah, so less time-sensitive stuff. Yes, you can watch stuff years later, and the algorithm will actually pass stuff around years later if it looks like people are interested. The objective with the algorithm is for the algorithm to follow the audience. So they're trying to make a computer that knows what people want and sends it to them, like a matchmaking service. So the question that every YouTuber has is, what exactly did you ever make the 2022 playlists? Not yet, and it is May 18th. I better get that done before the year's half over. Although YouTube is kind of eliminating the need for those playlists, because previously there was a problem where you couldn't scroll all the way down because you get the videos repeating and stuff, which is what you couldn't access older videos. And they're even working on bringing back like old to new. They have that in beta and they're working on it. You can also do popular as well, but old to new is supposed to make a comeback once YouTube gets that UI working for it. They're trying to make a standardized UI for, you know, PC versus mobile, and now smart TVs are in the mix too because they're picking up steam and stuff along those lines. Nintendo 64 guy gets his first PlayStation. The algorithm let it get thousands of views before shutting it off. We know that. We know that went viral for a bit before the algorithms shut it off. So, but compared to even stuff that was a year ago, getting like 100 views, passing the 200 view mark is pretty cool. So now, you know, just to contrast this though, XQC, biggest Twitch streamer, but he also has a YouTube presence. 2 million, and he 2 million, and he can crack 6 digits after a while. The problem is, who has a fake butt? What the hell? Yeah, that's XQC for you. He has a lot of younger people in his audience. That's why they call them juicers. So they drink juice because they're kids. Juicers in my generation means you use steroids. So no. Weird how things change with these Zoomers sometimes. Why does he still have XQC Cow or XQCOW? Oh, maybe because he didn't get the name change yet on Discord or Reddit. Oh, okay. He was originally a professional Overwatch player, but he's the biggest streamer on Twitch. But if, say, Twitch were to ban him, he could probably, what's this live? Oh, nothing yet. But he streamed on YouTube before, so that's why the live tab showed up. But here's the thing. Day in the life of XQC. He actually made a video that wasn't stream highlights, and he has millions of subs and got millions of views. There you go. So XQC as a personality has YouTuber potential if he doesn't want to stream 16 hours a day. He's more than capable of making the switch. Now, here's something to consider with what we're talking about with these turbulent tech tubers. If you are MSI, or you are NVIDIA, or you are AMD, who do you want to use as, you know, who do you want to strike deals with in order to sell your products and get the products in front of eyeballs? Do you want to sell it to some grumpy guy like Jay, like Jay's 2 cents? Or do you want to sell it to someone who's just going to play video games with it and not really criticize it all that much? And, you know, they just put like a thing in on the stream. Oh, that person has the new 4090 Ti. Let's see how well it runs. There's got to be a whole bunch of more people. There's got to be a whole bunch more people that are going to want to, you know, that are going to probably learn about the product and buy the product from the person that's just using it and isn't critical of it very much. And that fundamentally is the problem with tech tubers. We're post-pandemic now, so to speak, with the lockdowns. People have been introduced to live stuff, and everything has been, and you know, everybody's been forced to reckon with some of the stuff that's been going on. Let's see. Oh, I thought Pebbles was live for a second there. She's a friendly small streamer on Twitch who tells bad jokes and stuff. I say the younger guy because people say, "Wow, NVIDIA sounds cool," says Dan. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. So I agree with this, much like Frame Chaser guy does, but not for the same reasons as him. Speaking of which, well, Frame Chaser guy has a lot of problems. So let's see here. I can't recommend him because he threatens to ban most people who disagree with him. But he's also a contrarian. He's also a contrarian who's being obnoxious in order to get views. So we know that eventually backfires, and his channel's only at 25,000 subs versus these other people cracking 6 digits. The usual price for being more edgy on YouTube. But looking at... Oh, wait. What about Pokimane? How can we talk about Twitch without talking about the queen of Twitch? 6 million... Yeah. Don't also get like the pretty girl thing into it as well, because photogenic people win in visual media. It's one of the reasons why people try to make themselves look as cool or as pretty as they can in front of the cameras, even to the point where dudes with deep voices wear makeup if they're news anchors on TV. Browser mode. Here's Pokimane, the queen of Twitch, according to some people. How does she do? 6 million subs, 6-digit views. 6-digit views, and she's basically, she's taken her channel away. Wait a minute. What? Hold on. This used to be a stream highlights channel. Hold on. She used to have a separate channel for non-streamy stuff. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did she change her channel's direction? Of course, you know, she's highly manipulative. She's like that girl in school that, you know, you thought might have liked you, but then they just, you know, strung you along because they liked, you know, maybe you drove a car and they, you know, I don't know. Either way, maybe you drove a car and they wanted to ride to school or something like that. But it's always the things where there's always a catch to people that are a little too big in the looks department. But that's another story altogether. I've been dealing with that since middle school, for Pete's sake. And my folks knew about it, too. The diva in my middle school class, when I got the class picture, when I was graduating junior high, my stepmother saw it and said, "Hey, is that pretty girl stuck up? And is that pretty girl stuck up and full of herself?" I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, "Ooh, someone was jealous of someone more photogenic in her younger years." I don't really see that snarkiness from my stepmother. That was rare. Can we finish this stuff here? I might check some of these vlogs out then. I think she gets it, though. Maybe she has a separate... Let's look at channels. Does she have like a separate... Oh, she has another... She has... Oh, what? Wait, what? Where'd the stream highlights go? So this is the Iman channel. It's actually pronounced Iman in the original Moroccan. So her name technically is Pokemon, similar to, you know, Pokemon. But... people anglicize it and say Pokimane all the time. So she has this and a VOD channel for her Twitch VODs. Where'd the highlights go? This used to be your stream highlights channel. So she's finally... Well, she did say she was stepping down from streaming so much. Maybe because, you know, she wanted to be more of a YouTuber. And that's perfectly understandable. But look at the numbers. Let's back it up to the top here. So Pokimane, 6-digit views on videos. They're spaced apart, but so is Greenham Gaming, by the way. So somebody who's gathering an audience like this, if you're selling graphics cards, and she plays Valorant and lots of other games as well, if you're selling graphics cards, why wouldn't you go to somebody like this who can put their product in front of loads of eyeballs and play Valorant with it or something with a little thing in the corner versus risking having your product sandblasted by someone like Steve Burke or Linus Sebastian? Why? No, bypass the controversy, rake in the sales, make the tech people have to catch up. And this, folks, is why. This, folks, is precisely the reason why you're going to see more and more Techtubers get turbulent. The good news is, though, for those of us who are off the beaten path, like myself, it's a great reason to get back into making tech videos, because the never-ending dominance of these channels that have been at ruling the roost for years, the cracks are forming in the armor. Maybe there's going to be people who are going to get sick of where these people are going and what's going to happen on the money side with these people that have built businesses and how the money's starting to dry up because they can't get easy samples or whatever, and they have to sell shirts or something to get the money to buy graphics cards to review them, because why are the brands going to go to them? Why would somebody like Jay, who made a video called Asus You're Fired, why would Asus ever speak to him ever again? They don't need him. They don't need him. Go to someone like Pokimane instead and put a pretty face on your products. It's all demographics, folks. Most importantly, it's not letting your ego think that you've gotten too big for your britches, as we used to say when I was growing up. Because there is no one content creator out there who truly is God. What? I almost hit the stop streaming button. Are we still live? All right, enough trying to... Uh-oh. Is someone calling me on Discord or something? Doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, before I break this nice new computer, let's get up and stretch a bit and listen to that Linus song again that Linus doesn't want to use. Whatever. No, stop, 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 stop. Logitech, why in the living hell does there need to be a Windows notification for changing the DPI on your cheap-ass gaming mouse? Here I was thinking I was breaking something. Shut up! Shut up already. Or is it going to keep doing that to catch up? Clear all notifications. Why in the living... What? You're supposed to be able to use this in-game. But it's catching up right now. I have it on alarms only, too, so it's going to be dinging for a while. Or is that the last one? There we go. And... why? So that's what the issue was. So unfortunately, one of the news things while I was messing around with the new computer was that Microsoft is shutting down Microsoft branded peripherals, which I imagine is going to include the IntelliMouse, the classic IntelliMouse series. I might want to double check on that, see if they're actually going to do that. So I've been trying to get used to Logitech mice instead, because now I'm finally going to be forced to switch. So Logitech G it is. Could try SteelSeries or something like that. But the problem I have with gaming brands is that the minute you can call something gaming, that's automatically an excuse to add garish lights and jack the price. So this is the cheapo Logitech G whatever. What is it? G402. Ain't nothing but a Logitech G thing, baby. It's the Logitech G402, the cheapo gaming mouse that you could have seen from Target. You could have gotten from like Walmart or Target or something. I was curious about Logitech G, so I decided to get the mouse, see what Logitech mice were like these days. I used to have like Logitech mice in the 2000s. The problem I always ran into was the pads on the bottom, the glue would come undone. They'd start sliding, and they'd gunk up the bottom of your mouse. But either way, for the folks that are left in the chat, I think it's about time I rewarded you folks for actually watching my streams. So whoever's still here, say something. Whoever's still here, say something with regards to where this channel should go next. So today is Thursday. This weekend, I can go in one of two directions. I can try to stream games on the new Ryzen Monolith system and see what I can do, set it up for HLS and HEVC and all the other stuff. Pick up where I left off with trying to find efficient codec support for streaming games and making them look nice, and then showcase what the new Ryzen processor can do in stuff like Forza Horizon 5, maybe even Hogwarts Legacy or something, also ESO and stuff along those lines. I think Forza Horizon 5 would be the best exhibition of this, although I did run into a performance bug this afternoon where I lose 20 frames per second by driving through a greenhouse tent. No idea why. So we can take things in a gaming direction to show the new computer. We already built it, but we showed the hardware. We didn't actually show what this thing could do, and I'm actually curious what this thing can do with game streams. Or my next tech project that I'm going to do involves Nerdovo. We need to pop that thing open, see if the SSD needs to be replaced, as I have lots of problems with the SSD or the RAM or something goes disconnected and the whole system hard locks, and I have to actually physically power it off. So I want to see if I can get that fixed before I look at upgrading it to Windows 11. So the way things are going to work is tech videos are going to be more of a thing in the colder months of the year, so you don't have the air conditioner constantly making noise in the videos. Whereas with everything else that I do on the channel, including tech commentary videos that I want to start, we can use the streaming gear, we can noise block stuff and make it sound a lot more professional. So that's one of the directions I want to take for the summer, but it's unseasonably cool right now. So if anybody has any preference whether I should go the hardware route or the gaming route with what's next, let's talk about it. In the meantime, as far as the Turbulent Techtubers thing goes, we already knew that what goes up must come down. that Techtuber is just the latest example of content creators that are dealing with the aftermath of the pandemic lockdowns and the dropping numbers, as well as the economy having some issues, and also the bursting bubble of ad revenue. Around the time of the .com crash, in my younger days, there were infomercial products on TV to try and give you like a .com era internet business with a website and a way of selling stuff. There's even something called the Internet Business Toolbox. All kinds of people out there wanted to get you on the internet, running a business, selling stuff, and making money. It all collapsed with the .com crash. One of the gimmicks going around back then was advertising, making things free. NetZero, for example, is a company that started out with free dial-up access with an ad bar, which was terrible because you're on dial-up at 56K with an ad bar you can't close that's constantly sucking bandwidth to download banner ads to support things with ads. That revenue dried up and all of that dried up. So an attempt at free internet couldn't survive because ad revenue dried up. So anyways, it has never worked. Ads on the internet have never worked as a form of business. Google probably has an incredibly robust CPM system for selling ads, and there's Google AdSense and all kinds of other cool stuff. But the reputation that ads have is that it's always more than it's cracked up to be. There's booms and busts with internet ads. So what we see with these content creators is that these content creators are starting to get upset, and you'll see it in their behavior. You'll see it with them getting more and more antsy on stream or in their videos. You'll see it with them banning and blocking people. You'll see it with them having thinner and thinner skin. So this was already happening with Twitch streamers, and now with the shifts in the industry, it's probably going to happen with Techtubers. So be open to those algorithm recommendations to check out new people to watch. Maybe try and get away from some of these people that have the heavy hand of commercialism dogging them with this kind of stuff. Because I think for people that don't want to just be a Linus copycat, brighter days are ahead. Because not just the tech audience, which already has a bad reputation to the point where the brands are changing their strategies now. Not just the tech audience, which, as I said on Twitter, will buy one piece of hardware and argue about literally everything else to justify their purchase. So you buy an Intel processor, you'll argue about AMD processors on the internet incessantly, and vice versa, because you spent the money on this, now you're going to argue about it because someone else spent money on something else, which is fundamentally stupid. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that people make a big deal about in PC gaming that just fundamentally doesn't matter. There's a certain threshold of performance that numerous hardware numerous hardware combinations, to get my words right, will do for you. There's numerous ways to get to the end that justifies your means with PC hardware. Some of the stuff that people are making a big deal about just doesn't matter. And it's the technical version of crap I deal with this job I'm dealing with nowadays. I go in and I have to be the one level-headed guy in a team full of people that are psyching themselves out and getting mad about stupid stuff. And they badmouth to each other. They badmouth on breaks and lunches. Blah, 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 blah. And anybody who has a better perspective on things, like people that have worked other jobs in the building, know that it's so incredibly stupid. These people are fishbowled. This is their world, and it makes them look bad. Well, you know what? That's what we're going to see with these turbulent Techtubers. Anyways, I asked a simple question, and my now dead chat couldn't answer it, so I'll just pick what the hell I want to do this weekend. So much for that idea. I thought I could reward the folks. Watching this, watching the stream live all this time later. But hey, to each their own. We'll figure out what to do this weekend or relax and enjoy the weather. But yeah, Welcome to the era of Turbulent. Dan says, lol. You folks really didn't think I would do that? Why not? Hey, why not? Reward people for tuning in. Reward people for tuning in. At least I'm not tying it to money and saying, oh yeah, my YouTube members are going to be ones that dictate what I do. But I guess that means just do whatever and you be you. So we'll do that. I want to eventually do both anyways. The question is the order of what I want to do here. We'll figure it out. But yeah, welcome to the era of Turbulent Techtubers. There will be more of this. Hardware. Of course, Logan's going to say hardware. You folks didn't expect me to do that. Well, I don't know. I guess, streamers, people streaming, I should say, being humble enough to be like, hey, what should I do, chat? Is still something that people don't expect. I don't know. Either way. So, but I do need to figure out this Lenovo thing because it's the one thing that's wrong with the laptop. And it's the one thing that's wrong with this laptop. So maybe I can do both at once. There's some parts of the day that I'm probably going to sleep in because it's the weekend and I've never really stopped being a night shift guy. There's some parts of the day that are better for streaming and parts of the evening that are better for filming videos. So we'll do everything based on, we'll probably do both eventually. But yeah, so the Lenovo laptop, we got to figure out what's going on with that SSD because the reason I bought that laptop was to basically cut my teeth on Windows 11 with it. I bought it because the old Skylake wouldn't upgrade to Windows 11, and I don't want to upgrade this system to Windows 11 until I'm comfortable with it. So it's time that Nerdovo, I should say. It's time that Nerdovo was finally used for its intended purpose, even though it's been years. Plus, the computer's out of warranty now, so it doesn't really matter if I poke around inside. There's no more warranty. There's no more warranty. This thing, in classic crappy tech product fashion, started screwing this up right after the warranty expired. Well, I suppose it's better than the bad old days when I would have Maxter drives conk out right after the warranty expired and take all my data with them. So, yeah. Welcome to the era of Turbulent Techtubers. Things are changing. Things are changing, and that's going to have ripple effects across all the rest of YouTube. If you've been intimidated out of making tech videos because the big guys get all the views, you might be surprised. You might actually find some people that are just fed up with all of that. And furthermore, the big guys are going to start running out of content because if they have to buy their stuff instead of receiving review samples, that's going to slow down their ability to make videos or force them to burn money in order to keep up with everybody else. So who goes broke first now matters. It's a weird world we live in. But it's a reason why if you care about this stuff at all and you want to make videos, you want to get in on this, go for it. I realize it's like in sports where you get one major league person and a bazillion people never make it out of the minors. But if it's fun, do it. It's like a conversation I had on Twitter with the YouTube liaison, Mr. Rene Ritchie. The stuff you stick to fundamentally over the long haul is the stuff you like. You can make YouTubing into a job all you want. It's going to start affecting you like a job. And you're going to have to go back into recreational stuff anyways. So you might as well just get a job, get better benefits if it's a large company, and just bypass all that crap and just make what you want. That's fundamentally what YouTube started out as, before all this commercial crap like these big tech tubers and stuff showed up. 7:49 at the Geek House. Let's chill to some Forza. I took a nap this afternoon after we finished up early at work, so I won't be too tired anytime soon, and we'll just la through Friday and get going on the weekend projects. This is Multimedia J, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.